This is why you can't be around most people. That's what we're going to be talking about in this one. And if you like the sound of that, give it a thumbs up down below to help support our community. Hit subscribe and click all notifications to be notified when I go live in the future. One-on-one coaching, just go to my website to book. It is narcsurvivor.co.uk. So yeah, in this one, we're going to be talking about why you can't be around most people. As you can see, I'm just walking through this park by the lake. Came here because it's nice and peaceful. You can't be around most people today. And it's not because most people are amazing people to be around, who are just going to make you feel so good about yourself, and they're going to put you on the right path in life. They're going to make everything better for you. That's not why you can't be around most people. You can't be around most people because they're just going to drain the life out of you. They're going to make you feel miserable. They're going to make you feel depressed. They're going to cause all sorts of problems for you in your life. And at the end, they're just going to blame you. And why is that? Why are so many people this way? Why is it that they come around you, they come into your life, and they rob you, they drain the life out of you, they cause all of these problems for you, and then they blame you? Why does it happen that way? I can tell you that the reason why is because most people have a lot of problems of their own. They're going through so many things, and that's why they're so negative, because they failed even to master themselves in their own lives. They don't even know how to deal with themselves, with their own minds, their own bodies, their own emotions. So how are they supposed to manage anything with you or with anyone if they can't even manage themselves, if they can't even control their own emotions? As you can see there, we got the Patronus Twin Towers in the distance. Yes, how are they supposed to manage you or build anything with you? They can't even manage their own minds and their own emotions. They can't even control themselves. So of course, they're not going to be able to manage or build anything with you or with anyone else. And all they can really do is introject this poison that they have inside of themselves. And many of you all already know exactly what I'm talking about. Just by getting around them, by being involved with them, or they deliberately target you, they pick you out so that they can inject, deposit this poison into you. That's already flowing through their veins. It's already in their bodies. Some beautiful fish. I just noticed them here, so I wanted to show it quickly. I walked around the other way, so I didn't get to see all of this. But yeah, that's what they want to do, is they want to introject, deposit this poison inside of you. Of course, they've got that poison to give because it's already flowing through their veins. It's already inside of them. And it controls their thoughts, feelings, actions, and behaviors. It's like this poison is flowing through the neurocircuitry of their brains. And I don't mean literally that's happening, but energetically, yes. This is their way of being, their mode of behavior. It's going through them and it's dominating them. It's making them angry, miserable, resentful. But they just want to go and take it out on someone. They want to put that onto you. But of course they know that if they just straight away get around you and right from the start they're devaluing you, they're putting you down, they're abusing you, of course they know that if they do that straight away, you're just going to go and run in the opposite direction. You're not going to want to be around them. So then they won't be able to keep you there. They won't be able to dominate and control you and keep you as their source of supply. So instead what they do is initially they love bomb you. They act like they like you, as though they're on the same page, as though you share the same interests, as though they are trying to build or share something with you, because then you're not going to see it coming. It's like the boiling frog syndrome. They turn the heat up over time, and while they're doing that, they're constantly observing your reactions to what they're doing to know if it's safe for them to ramp it up a little bit, because they understand someone who is normal, relatively healthy, emotionally, you're not going to tolerate that if they turn up the heat straight away. That's why they've got to do it over time. Just like the boiling frog syndrome. Here's a nice view of the city here. You can see all the skyscrapers, and over there too. But yeah, this is why you can't be around most people, because that's all they're looking for when they come around you. They're looking for a place to get rid of this toxic energy that they have inside of themselves. And once they've dumped it onto you, then they have to try and make you feel responsible for it, as though you were the cause of that, and that's you. So in many ways they have to make you believe that you are them and that they are you. And this is what makes them target you. This is what draws them to you. It's that they want to have this energetic exchange. They want to swap. They want you to take on their energy, and they want to take on yours. That's what draws them to you. They like your energy. And it makes a lot of sense, because if you think about how you were before they got around you, Most likely you were very happy, positive, full of life. You knew what you wanted for yourself. You had all of these hopes and dreams for the future. You had so much energy, so much enthusiasm. And then they got around you and they drained you of all of that. They just pulled it all out of you and they deposited their energy in you. And now it feels like you're sick. It feels like something's wrong. You just feel so down. You don't have that same energy and enthusiasm that you had before. And instead now you're very anxious, you're restless, you're ruminating a lot, you can't focus, you just don't feel good about yourself anymore like you used to. And it's just not a good feeling, is it? What you need to do before, you need to think about before you got involved with them. What were you like before? What was your normal way of functioning and behaving? Maybe look at old photographs. Maybe listen to the same music that you were listening to back then, before you met them. But also don't let them know that you're thinking about anything from the past, because they are very jealous and insecure. That's typically how they're this way, to where they come around you to put this energy into you, because they're very jealous and insecure. And they want to keep a hold of you, they want to trap you. So what tends to happen is, if they know that you're thinking about how you were before they got around you and they entrained you, then they fear abandonment, because it makes them think that if there was a part of you before you were around them, then that means there could be a future without them as well. So that's what they're worried about. But this is why you can't be around most people today, because they're carrying a lot of stuff inside of them. This emotional baggage, this toxic energy, and they are just going around looking for somewhere to dump it. It's essentially the same thing as if you imagine, and I don't really like this analogy, to be honest, but as someone who cares a lot about the environment, but this is an excellent way to describe it. If you imagine someone with a truck full of garbage, and they're just driving around looking for somewhere to dump it. Now they want to dump it somewhere where no one's going to see it, where no one's going to find out, where there's not too many people around to call them out in it, so that they don't get into trouble. And let's say that these people who are trying to dump their garbage, this lorry full of garbage, let's say they're particularly evil and sadistic. So they're looking for not just any ordinary place. They want to find a beautiful garden or somewhere by a lake, because they feel ugly inside. So if they can go and dump that in a beautiful place, that's going to be even more satisfying for them. It's going to make them feel better about themselves. And that's the type of mentality that a lot of people have today. They want to get around someone who is successful, attractive, someone who has a lot going on in their lives. They want to get around that type of person and dump all of their garbage, all of their problems onto them. And it just relieves their pain in that moment. It's like, the best way I can describe it is, if you imagine it's kind of like when you're in the cinema and you're watching a good movie. Maybe it's quite long, maybe it's about 2-3 hours long, and you've just been sitting there for a while. You're drinking your Pepsi or Fanta, whatever beverage it is that you like, and your bladder starts to fill up. But you don't want to just go and rush to the toilet because you're really enjoying the movie. So then you wait until the end. Of course, by that time, there's quite a strain on your bladder, and you are rushing to the toilet. And when you get there, you relieve yourself. It really is a great feeling of relief. It's like you've unloaded the strain, the pressure on your bladder. And that's how it feels for these types of people when they unload their emotional baggage onto you. That is how it feels for them. And that's why they specifically want to target the most attractive or successful people that they can find. Not just any regular person. Yes, they do keep regular people around them. And it seems as though they get on well with those types of people. That's because it's not really that satisfying for them to dump their baggage onto them. It's like, again, this is a horrible analogy, but this is just a good way I can think to describe it. Trying to see it from a mentally ill person's point of view. Not going to do much for them to take it out on them because they're already down. They're already feeling hopeless and helpless. So it's not going to make that much difference to them. So it's not going to do anything for them. And that's how they don't bother too much with the people that they're around, because they're all already the same, they're already down, they're already looking to take something from someone else. So they're already in that state of mind, they're already in that mentality. But you're not. You've got this mentality of being giving and generous and being positive and optimistic. So it's far more satisfying if they can take that down from you. It doesn't do much for them with the people that they're around because they're already miserable. Now that's how you see these types of people. They often team up together against you. It's like they're all together in their own little group, plotting to take people down. Because they're already depleted. They've already got no life inside of them. And they're just looking to take life, energy from someone outside of their group. Because there's no life or energy there. But that doesn't mean that you can help them. That doesn't mean that you can fix these types of people. I've tried it myself in my own life. I tried to do everything I could to make these types of people happy. But they have a void that can never be filled. It doesn't matter what you do for them or how much you try to help them. They will never be satisfied. They will always want more and more, but it will never be enough. It's like they're a bucket with a hole at the bottom, with a leak. And no matter how much you pour into them, it just leaks out. So they will never be satisfied. And that's the whole point of why they turn against you, why they hate, envy, and resent you. It's because they can't be satisfied with you. So then they try to find satisfaction by turning against you and putting you down. But the reason why they can't be satisfied with you is because they feel inadequate around you. They feel inferior to you. They know they're not on your level. They know they're not good enough. They know that they've tricked you into being around them, and that if you knew who they really are, you want to be hanging around with them, you want to be laughing and joking with them, you would be running away. And they know that, and that's how they're so insecure. And when you start to catch on, or the mask begins to slip, then they want to turn against you and devalue you, which is another way for them to try to find satisfaction. But no matter what they do, they never really get that. It's a fleeting emotion for them. It never lasts. And that's how they typically become addicted to you. And it turns into this cycle of abuse. It's like women that they're nice, and then they're not. There's hot and cold, there's push and pull, because they're just trying to find any possible way to gain satisfaction, and they just can't. It's like no matter what they do, they just can't be happy. And there's nothing you can do to fix them. There's nothing you can do to help them. It's not even your job to help them anyway. It's not your responsibility. But they manage to find a way to make you responsible for it. They manage to find a way to put it onto you, to make you feel like it's their fault, that they're not happy, that they're not where they should be. When actually, no, you're not responsible for anything in their lives. That's on them. If they're not healthy, if they're not happy, if they're not feeling good, doing good, then they need to do something about it. But this is the problem that we have with most people in the world today. They're heavily dependent on someone else to fix them, to help them, to make them happy. And I mean, fair enough if it's something small. If it's something where, I don't know, it could be just something small, like you're just trying to talk to someone about something. Do you want them to confirm something to you? You're just seeking validation about something that you went through. I mean, that's something that could be, if it can be resolved in a short amount of time, then that's fine. But with these types of people, they take up so much of your time because they're really desperate. They're so depleted, and it's like they need everything that you've got. They need all of your energy, all of your life, because they're really that low down. And they need you to pick them up. But there's really nothing you can do for them. There's nothing that you can do to help them. There's nothing that anyone can do. A lot of people in this world today, they are stuck. They are stuck in a rut, and you can't get them out. They have to help themselves, and as long as you're around them, you are just enabling them. You're telling them that yes, it's okay to be a leech, a parasite, a bottom feeder. It's okay to do that. And then they're never going to get help. They're never going to be any better. They're just going to be the same. And they're always going to be that way. Where it's like, You may not even have any children, but it's like now it's like you got like a baby. And you're pushing this baby around in a chair. And then you've got to feed it, burp it, you've got to change its nappy. Every time that it has a tantrum, every time that it cries. And I know it sounds funny, but if you think about it, that's exactly what it's like. They need your emotions. It's like they need you to hold them like a baby in your arms and just stroke their heads and tell them that everything's going to be okay. And actually, even then, if that was all that you had to do for these types of people, and then they'd be up on their feet, and great, let's just do that. Let's just give them a hug, tell them everything's going to be okay. And then what, they get back to work, they get back on their feet, they start getting better. Unfortunately, no, it's not that simple. They need you to be there. They need you to hold them. They need you to hold their hand. They need you to take care of them emotionally and calm them down anytime they throw a tantrum. And they need you to get angry every time they provoke you. They need you to go along with whatever they want you to go along in, whatever moments that they are in, and whatever episode that they are currently having. And not for a temporary amount of time, but potentially for the rest of your life. And even then, they're still not going to get any better. They're still not going to improve anything in their lives. They're still not going to become even just a normal human being. Actually, what they are going to do is become a lot worse. Because like I said, doing anything for them is not making them better. It's making them even worse. Sadly, society enables it. They enable these types of parasites who go around leeching and feeding off people. And that's why, if you look around the world today, these types of people are everywhere. And they just keep getting worse and worse, while needing more and more, and becoming less and less satisfied. When you look at it, it's just, they really just don't want to be themselves, and they don't want you to be you. They don't want you to be this happy, lively, energetic person, because they obviously had a rough childhood. They went through a lot of things that they couldn't cope with. They struggled, and now they are just very miserable people who are completely hopeless. They've given up on doing anything good, doing anything righteous, and now they just want to bring you down to that as well. Misery loves company. They just don't want to feel like they're alone. They just don't want to feel like it's just them. They want to make you feel like you're in it with them as well. And you will know when you're dealing with these types of people, because around them you can feel it. You can feel that negativity, that hopelessness, that pessimism, their emotional baggage. You can feel that, yes, they're clearly going through a lot, but then at the same time they don't want to do anything about it. They enjoy just laying in their own filth and just pulling other people into it, pulling other people into their muds. They don't want to change, they don't want to get better. I think they're actually quite comfortable with it, and they enjoy drawing other people into it. Yes, I would say that they are actually quite comfortable where they are. They're not looking to change, grow, or become better. They actually enjoy being that way. They enjoy being mentally ill. Because otherwise, if a person really wants to get better, if they want to change things, then you're probably going to see examples of that. You're going to see them actually engage in certain behaviors, certain activities that promotes healing and development and just becoming a better person. But for them, no, it's more about the image. It's this self-righteous image of just being better, being superior. But actually, these types of people are the lowest of the low. They are the worst of the worst. And maybe that's why their image is so important to them. But then they're so quick to blame you and to try and expose you for things. But the last thing they want is for that to be turned around on them. Because it's like they have been stewing in trauma and things that they refuse to heal or resolve for a very long time. They've never reflected on it or attended to it. They just push it away, put it onto someone else, hold other people accountable for it, and that's how they remain the same. That's how they're so toxic, so negative, so harmful, because they just find a way to pass it off onto someone else instead of going through it themselves. So essentially, in many ways, they do not want to be themselves. They're trying to hold on to you for their lives, and they do not want to let you go. Because when they see someone like you, you are like their lifeline. And of course, yes, they have the false self, this false image, and they try and portray that to you. And then you just go around back on the cycle of abuse, where they make you believe that they're good people and they're there to help you, and then you just get abused even more, because that's all that they've got to give you. If there's poison that's running through their veins, it's constantly flowing through them, and it's very toxic. This emotional baggage. They have an inability to regulate their own emotions, even just in simple things. I dread to think how they would cope in something that was actually very serious, like an emergency. They would be panicking and losing their minds. They're not safe people to be around, because just look at how they react to just minor issues. Well, for us, they will put you through all sorts of things. And if you react in any sort of way, I mean, barely even a reaction, they will be scanning your body language and facial expressions and your tone of voice for any slight adjustments. And even after they put you through all sorts of things, if they notice any slight adjustment in your tone of voice, your body language or facial expressions, then they will lose their minds. They will call you too sensitive, overreactive. When I say, hold on a minute, what about all of the things that just happened before that, that pushed you to that point of even having a slight reaction to their behavior? But then for them, even if it's just a minor issue, they will blow up. Even if nothing happened, nothing went wrong, they can still just lose their minds, because there's constantly all of this reactivity inside of them. There's all of these things going on inside of their minds, their bodies, that they cannot control, they can't regulate it. And this is why it's so dangerous to be around these types of people. And sadly, unfortunately, this is most people in the world today. A lot of people in this world today are like this. They can't resolve their own problems, their own traumas, their own issues, their own emotional baggage. They just can't deal with it. And it's very sad. It's no different to a toddler in an adult body. That's really what it's like. It's like a baby in an adult's body who can't regulate themselves, their own emotions. Because I genuinely believe that a lot of people in this world, they haven't grown, they haven't matured past that point. They haven't arrested emotional development. And maybe they just haven't had too much experience, they haven't experienced real life. Maybe that's how they're so overreactive, so sensitive to it. And yet they will go and project that onto you, they will call you that. If you have even just a minor reaction to one of their huge blow-ups, then they'll make it out like you're losing your mind. It's all just projection. And yet they don't want to resolve anything, they don't want to talk about it. The only thing that they want to talk about is how you're the problem, you're at fault, and all of these things are wrong with you, but then at the same time, you can't fix it. No matter what you do, you cannot resolve it, because it's not your problem to fix. It's their arrested emotional development. It's their unresolved traumas. That's what the problem is, and that's why no matter what you do, and in fact, actually, the better that you become, you will notice a pattern that the better that you become as a person, the worse they get. Because again, they don't like that. They enjoy problems, they enjoy chaos, they enjoy dysfunction. That's what they want. And that's why anytime that you get better, anytime that you're growing or healing, then that becomes a problem for them. They enjoy chaos because a lot of people in this world today, they are traumatized. They are messed up in the mind, they're damaged. And you cannot fix or repair them. Just being around them, they will damage you. But as for us, yes, we have the tools, we have the skills. We have that emotional development where by being by ourselves or by being around healthy people, we can then heal that damage. They can't, because they're not logical, they're emotional. So they are unable to heal it, and actually they enjoy it. They enjoy being that way, they enjoy the drama. And most people in this world today are like this. Sad to say it, but this is how it is. And this is why you can't be around most people. Because you get around them, they will act like they're normal, they will act like they're just like you. They'll act like they're on the same page, and then before you know it, you feel like you're losing your mind. You start getting that feeling of tightness in your chest, in your throat, and then it's like you can't even speak. You feel fatigued, you're having nightmares. You're getting all these symptoms, and at the same time they're telling you, trying to make you believe that nothing's wrong with them. And then if you're possessed in that stance, then they start blaming you, they turn against you. But one thing they won't do is ever look at themselves and accept that it is them. That they have all of these problems, and then take the steps to make the adjustments and to heal. They're not going to do that because they like it, they enjoy it. They enjoy how their disorder works. Well, they can unload all of their baggage onto you, and then it provides them with a sense of relief. They like how that works. They like how it functions in that way. Almost like they've got a wheelbarrow of garbage, and they just wheel it down, they dump it in front of your feet, So they get that sense of relief from unloading that onto you, and then at the same time they can see a reaction to having that garbage in front of you. And then of course that's not going to be enough. They can never be satisfied, so then they blame you as well. They brainwash you into thinking that no, that garbage is yours and that they're perfectly clean. Yes, they like how that works. They like how their disorder functions. They enjoy it, that process. They like how they travel through the neurocircuitry of their brains, the neural pathways. They like that mode of operation. What they don't like is what you're doing, of how you're trying to be healthy, functional. You're trying to solve things and make things better. They just don't like that. They prefer to lay in their own filth. They're more comfortable with that. Now that's how, if you want something better, if you want something healthy, then you just got to go somewhere else. You just got to go away from them, because they are not about that. They do not like it. They don't enjoy it. They're quite happy with the way things are, and that's why they don't try to change anything. That's why they remain the same way no matter how old they get. At any time that they come around someone like you, a good person, they just drain the life out of you, destroy you, and then they move on to the next. And that's how, when you look around at this world today, everyone's miserable, everyone's depressed. The two most common illnesses in the world are mental illnesses, anxiety and depression. Now let's take a look at the live chat. See what all of the trolls are saying. All of the trolls already in here waiting. But I told you, they like it. They enjoy this kind of how they can flow through these certain neural pathways in their brains to get them the reactions and the results that they want, and to give them a certain temporary relief from their pain. They enjoy that. They like things that way. They prefer it. That's how they want it to be. So any time that you're trying to provoke them back, or you're trying to hurt them the same way that they hurt you, that's not going to work, because they like that anyway. They enjoy it that way. That's what they want, because they enjoy how that works. The neural pathways, they're quite comfortable laying in their own filth. So, but even if you feel that way to where you want to do that to them, that's only because they've managed to bring you down to their level. That's why. All you need to do is take some time by yourself, and you will rise back up. You will come back to normal. It won't even take you long. Problem is, when you start going back to them, seeking validation, seeking a sense of resolve, because you're believing in their lies, in the false character, thinking that they're actually a good person and that they can help you to heal and to feel better. If you start thinking that way, you just get stuck in the cycle of abuse, and nothing ever changes. You just get worse, and you become unrecognizable. You become more and more like them. But yeah, most people these days, you cannot be around them. And they can be some of the most persuasive, convincing people, because they got to go above and beyond. I mean, they're like psychopaths. They need your approval. They need you to think of them as a good person, as though there's something that you would want in your life, as though there's something good for society. You watch any interrogation of a narcissist or a psychopath, that's exactly what they do. So that in itself is a red flag. What you should be looking for is someone who, whether it's a friend, relationship partner, someone who's not so sure about themselves, someone who can be vulnerable and isn't afraid to accept that yes, maybe they feel insecure, rather than these narcissists, these psychopaths who, yes, they may be very charming and charismatic, but it's like they've got no problems of their own. There's nothing that they're working on. They can't show you anything from their past where it's like, yes, I was doing this for a certain amount of time, a certain number of years. I got this result out of it, this amount of progression. They can't do that because they're never working on anything. It's all just a false image. It's all just to convince you. And I know I haven't responded much to the live chat because I've just looked through it, and at this point there's more trolls than anything else. It's all just disgusting, vile, offensive messages. I can't actually see. There's maybe one or two genuine messages in the live chat from Lorraine and Shani. I mean, this is just how it's got to in society today. Most people in this world are really messed up, and they look around and everyone else is that way, so it normalizes it. And that's why it's just it's going the way that it is in the world today. Because they look around and everyone's the same way, and they think it's cool to be that way. So it's really just promoting it even more. But I will continue to promote what I promote, which is healthy, functional behavior in society. People who are willing to stand up and be a good person and want good things for themselves, their lives, and for other people as well. That's what I will continue to promote on my channel, despite how this world continues to go. And if you subscribe to that, you can subscribe down below, and you can click all notifications as well. Also, you can give this video a thumbs up. I really appreciate your support. You could donate by going to my PayPal. It is paypal.me/Narc Survivor. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Fortunately, most of the trolls, they don't bother commenting, only in the live chat. And if you would like to book a one-on-one coaching session with me, you can go to my website. It is narcsurvivor.co.uk. Also, you can follow me on Instagram. I had a reel of a monkey drinking the water. It managed to get over 40,000 plays on there. You can see that and so much more. Follow me. It's Narc Survivor YouTube and Instagram. Thank you all for joining me on another Narc Survivor live video. I appreciate you all. And as always, I look forward to speaking with you in another live video very soon.